Good morning. Hello. How is everybody? While you are hopping on, I am going to pin my shopping links in the comments. Sorry, it's just wiggling the phone on you, isn't it? And there we go. There we go. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you for joining me. So while you're hopping on, we're gonna have. Well, I'm not having a coffee. I'm on my 24-hour fast again. It seems like I'm always on it. I started on Monday after supper, and so at least my stomach's not growling yet. So I'm of course starting with my eye cream, and you know I was thinking I should mention that lots of times when you are starting new products, your skin might have to adjust. So just allow that time and go slow. So if you've just gotten the eye cream or the makeup, sometimes just allow that little bit of adjustment. Your skin has to adjust to the new products and the new ingredients. Take it slow. I know when I first started, I had, a little bit of redness, I think it was. And so then, I just slowed down, and then I realized that it was hard to know because I was still using some of my old stuff and then the new stuff. So it might have been just like too much for your skin. So just take it slow. So good. Hello, gorgeous. Welcome, Lynn. I'm so happy to see you. And as you know, if you find this helpful and the information that I'm showing you, it would mean the world to me that if you shared the video, if you followed me, and then while I'm on live, if you click the 3 dots, you can get notified every time I go live. So I was just applying my eye cream, and I was saying how we need to, sometimes when you're switching and trying new products, just allow your skin a little bit of adjustment. Sometimes it takes to get to the new products. So today is about a special event look. We've got a couple events going on this weekend, and even though it's virtual, I'm just adjusting this a little bit, so sorry. You want, like, people are only going to see you from here up, right? So we want our face to say celebration. We're so happy for you. So before you start with, doing your makeup application for a special event, the first thing I highly recommend is to exfoliate and moisturize your skin. And then you're going to really have a smooth surface and glowing. And then the next thing, of course, is prime. Priming is so important. So I'm starting with the eye primer. And you want to do this for a few reasons. Of course, we don't want our eyeshadow pooling and having a crease in the center of our eye. It also keeps the colors brighter and makes your makeup last longer throughout the whole day. Hello, gorgeous. I'm so happy to see everybody hopping on. Hello, gorgeous to all of you. And it also, you use less makeup when you prime. It's almost like it acts like an octopus. It grabs onto the makeup and it stays put. And now I'm going to do a face primer. Now I normally do the mattifying primer, but I've been using up my hydrating, and I'm really liking it, especially as we're coming into the cooler months. And so I'm finding that it's making, especially under, say, some of the foundations can look more like they can show my lines more, but now it helps them to look more hydrated. And I'm going to make sure I get under my eyes. So I'm actually really enjoying using the hydrating primer for that reason, that it's making my skin look a little more dewy, which is nice. And so today is about special events. I'm not wearing a special event clothes, but we are going to do the face. I thought, no, I'm not going to. I haven't decided yet what I'm wearing. I've got two functions to go to this afternoon, but I have tons of clothes, so I have lots and lots of things to choose from. So we're going to start with the eyes, and I'm going to use a couple things today. I'm going to use the Addiction 6 palette, and this is such a good palette because it has not just only your neutrals, but you can easily glam it up, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to mix some of the neutrals with some of this glam, and it's going to look stunning. So I'm going to start with a blending brush, and you can do this if you don't have the palette 6. You can just follow with what you do have similar. So I'm going to start with the transition color, and your transition color is going to be a matte, medium toned. So I'm starting with Enthralled, this lovely golden brown. And that's going to be my transition color. So you could do something similar. I know my sister has the Addictions palette number 1. And so you could start, Ethel, with Chipper. Just a suggestion. And so I'm going to just go in with the blending bud. And we're going to start with on the corner of my eye, the outer corner of my eye. And then we're going to just do circular motions blending in. And I'm holding my brush further back with a light hand. And we want to give, this is the background. This is the transition between the lights and the darks in our eyes, in our shadows that we're using. So I'm just going to be blend it in. And you can do swiping motions, but then you also want to just sort of zigzag it in to soften. We don't want any lines. We're going to try to blend this lovely. And go back in for a little bit more. And if you ever find that, you can always go back for more. There you go. So it gives it a lovely background. It's a very soft brown. Going back in on the other side. So on the weekend, I have a girlfriend living up north, not here. It was her wedding anniversary, and we're both widows. And so we spent the weekend doing movie marathons. It was awesome. But when you do that, you eat too much. Good morning, gorgeous. Hello, everybody. I'm so happy to see everybody here. Yeah, this is so when you eat, or sorry, when you're watching TV, you tend to eat. Just kind of goes hand in hand. But we really had a lot of fun. What else can you do? And it's just a whole new thing, eh? Like I have a wedding to attend to and another family function. No, I don't think my member would. It's a surprise. That's why I was like, should I say that? It's a retirement. And so I'm thinking, this is all new, attending all of these functions via teleconferencing. It's like, what? It's just a whole new era that we're in, isn't it? Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the lid color, and you can use, it's nice to use a shiny, something with a shimmer, makes your lid pop. You could use Lofty if you're using the palette 6, or what I'm going to use today. It's going to, because that would be more neutral, and this is a special event, and so this is going to add softness and glam, and I'm going in with the liquid shadow, Reverent. With that's my lip gloss. That would be a mistake. Don't tell me. Okay, you know what? I grabbed my lip gloss by mistake. I'm so sorry. I have to go run and grab it. I'll be right back. It's funny, I don't see it. I thought... Yeah, that's definitely my lip gloss. We wouldn't want to do that. Isn't that weird? I grabbed it, seeing it. Aww, you know what? I might have to do a switch of plans. I have a small place. How can I lose things? Okay, I could use another of my, it's not the right shade. I love Reverent. I could use Giggly. I don't think it's going to turn out the same. Just looking here, I just can't believe it. Well, okay, girls, I'll use Giggly. But use Reverent. It is such a beautiful champagne nude, and I used it yesterday. Do you mind if I take one more second and see if I can go find it? Just one more look. thought maybe if I threw it in with the lipsticks, but that is so bizarre. Okay. No, I'm not seeing it. All right. Well, I'm going to use Giggly. And it's the same principle. This will just be more pink. And so what we're going to do is starting on it's got this beautiful doe foot applicator. And if you get too much product, just scrape some off. You can always go back and get more. So just starting with the inner corner of my eye, we're going to just do a couple swipes across, but we're only going to stop 3/4 of the way. We're not going to do the whole eye. And then only as far as our eyeball. Okay. And then I'm going to grab the cream shadow brush, and then just going to blend the edges. Now it's baffling me. Where could that be? And then I'm just going to blend the edges. This is really pretty too. Okay. Now I'm going to do the other side. The Reverend comes in the kit, as well as you get the fluffy crease brush, which you could use for blending this. They have beautiful brushes. You know, it really does make a difference if you're doing any project to have the right tools, and the right brushes really make a difference. So I'm just going to soften the edges. Now we're going to go back into our palette, and I'm going to use Audacious. It's a deeper shade of brown, and so I'm going to grab a fluffy crease brush, and I'm just going to quickly clean it. So I see some colors on it. Oops. So I'm just put a little bit of spray cleaner on. Okay. And just going to get a little bit of Audacious, and we're going to that quarter section that we didn't put our cream shadow is where we're going to put that there, and we're going to swirl that on the lid. And just in that back corner of the eye. And then I'm going to grab my blending brush. Blend it. And the reason why, you might be wondering, why is she starting with the eyeshadow? It's because, as you can see, any mess that I get below I can clean up when I do my foundation. Wouldn't go on my freshly applied foundation. Do the same on the other side. So that 3/4 area, just going to blend that little bit there. I'm going to go in with my blending brush. Soften it out. Got some hair. Now, with the crease brush, which is shorter and stiffer, just going to clean it again. So Ethel, you could use Forthright. I was thinking, looking at your palette. Now I'm going in with this beautiful rich burgundy blazing. Ethel, you could try Zealous in your palette. And so just going to dab a little bit. And now on this outer corner, I'm going to do a V. And then just like a Pac-Man mouth. And I'm going to blend. Change the totally look with the pinkish from yesterday. It's cool. And one thing too is, I know a lot of times when someone is new to eyeshadows or you're a little unsure, and you look at that and you think, no, that's terrible, it's too dark. That's one thing is don't quit. Most of the time people quit too soon, and when you finish your whole makeup and then you look, it's like, wow, it's stunning. We're not done. We've got a lot yet to pull it together, and it'll look stunning, because we want our eyes to be to showcase. So I'm just going to go grab a little bit more of that enthralled, that softer brown, and I'm going to blend this. Okay, a little bit on the other side. Okay, now wondering if I should just blend this a little bit, soften that up. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to take a little bit of my primer, and I'm just going to clean up under my eyes a little bit. And take a brush. See. That just cleaned up that darkness underneath my eyes. Perfect. Now, on to our face. So, oh no, you know what I'm going to do right now while I'm here is eyeliner. So I like to use a liquid or a gel eyeliner. And I'm using in the color Perfect Black, because again, we're going to showcase our eyes. And starting on the inside corner, I just like to do short strokes. I like to keep my eyes open, both of them, so then you can sort of see what you're doing. And then I'm going to get a little wider as I go out to the outside. And then following the lower eye up, I'm going to follow that curve up to create a bit of a wing and fill that in. And what this is going to do is make our eyes go up, like a bit of a cat eye, but it's also very youthful, because as we age, everything seems to want to droop down, so we're bringing everything going up. There we go. Now I'm going to grab a little bit more. Okay, I love this dip and draw liners. They're very fine tip. And now I'm going to do the other side. I can see some hairs from the brush came off. So it's still baffling me where my missing eyeshadow is. There we go. Good. Okay. We're still not done with the eyes, but they're starting to come together, starting to say a little bit of drama, a little bit of celebration. And you know, this will also show up really good in pictures. You know, you need a bit more drama with your eyes. So now we're going on to foundation, and I had such a hard time to decide. I always rotate. I was going to use spray, or you know what would be lovely? Spray foundation. But because it's, you know, virtual, I don't need to worry about transfer so much. But if you were going to an event in person, I would recommend the stick foundation because it's very, very dewy finish, or the spray foundation because then it also doesn't transfer. So I grabbed the liquid. I guess I just felt like liquid today. And so I'm shaking it up really good, and I'm emptying the dropper to make sure I get everything mixed up good. The way today's going, I was like, I probably grabbed the wrong shade. So there we go. And so I'm going to use the kabuki brush. You need to use, this is an awesome brush. You really have to have this kabuki brush. You can use this to apply all of your foundations. And it's beautiful. It spreads it perfectly. It's dense, so it's not like it's not absorbing the makeup. It's just your carrier, and it does such a good job of it. So I'm going to use about 5 drops. Barely 5 drops. You can always go back for more. And then I'm just going to start dotting it. But I'm going to stay away from my eyes because I'm going to be putting the lower under my eye, because I'm going to be putting on concealer to brighten that area. And I don't want, because I have wrinkles and bags, I don't want it to build up too much makeup there, because then it can look cakey. And I'm just blending this in, combination of buffing motions. Of course, an event, and I see a blemish coming. That's okay. It's not all about me. Oh, thank you, Ethel. Love family, cheer you on, right? I'm going to go back for a little bit more. And just a little bit more coverage. Not much. There we go. And it, the stick foundation, I think the reason why I grabbed it too is it has full coverage. And they're all, actually, you know, you can't go wrong with any of them. I love them all. Whichever one you have is the one that's going to work. But, I know, I've been trying to think which one is my favorite. And you know, I really don't have one. Because when I'm using the liquid, I think, okay, this is my favorite. But then I'll use the spray and I'll think, okay, this is my favorite. And then I'll use the stick and the same thing. So they're you really can't go wrong with any of them. And if you want to give them a try, just say color match and I'll be happy to help you. Not only pick one. The dewy, or the dewiness of the stick foundation is awesome for mature skin. It's full coverage. Spray foundation too is also another one I would highly recommend for mature skin. But then I actually know this too. No, you can't go wrong with any of them. I'm sorry. I guess I'm not much help in that line. So just for a little bit of extra coverage, no, actually I'm going to do my concealer next. And then I'm going to do a little bit of pressed powder. So where's my brush? This is just one of those days, you know? There we go. I found a little brush I like. So I'm using the color Lace. And because I have mature, not this nice young youthful, if you're 20 years old, you can just dab it on and blend it in with a brush or a blending bud. But I have to just really be careful and use it sparingly. I want to brighten that area, lighten any darkness, but I don't want too much because it will just showcase, and you like you know how when we're using contour, light areas make that stand out, right? So this is lighter, so I don't want it to stand out too much. I don't go very light. I've only gone 2 shades lighter than that would be the most I'd go than my foundation color. And so I'm just using a smaller brush to take a little bit on. Pardon me. And I'm going to start from the inner corner of my eye, which is where usually our darkness is. And I'm just going to sweep a line down to just below the bag, and then just sort of start to brush it in and then dab up to this little V. And then using the warmth of our finger, I'm going to just sort of let that, warm that up and wiggle it and start to just sort of, the reason why I'm doing it this way is pressing, is because I don't want it to go into the fine lines. I'm pressing it on the surface. And moving it down and a little bit onto the nose. And I'm going to use my finger to blend it. And the reason why, and then as it gets further to where my crow's feet are, there won't be such a big application of it, which is where that will. If you prefer using a brush, I did like, you would want to, you could use the kabuki brush, or I also like using the liquid foundation brush. It's similar to the kabuki. It's flat and dense, and you can use that to stipple. But I found that it's working really good with my finger. Or you can also use a damp blending bud. There we go. And I'm just going to make sure it's all blended. You can use a damp blending bud. Those are the different ways. There we go. So now I'm going to just go back and do the other side. Take a little bit. Same thing. And I'm just going to sort of warm it up and start pressing it in. You can choose, if you've got mature skin, you can choose even just a half a shade lighter as your foundation. I would recommend half to 2 shades. If you don't want to highlight it at all, then you could just choose the same color as your foundation. And concealer gets tricky as you get these issues, aging issues. There we go. And it just lightened that area. And it's not cakey. Now right away, actually I like to right away, I found, is to use my setting powder just to set my concealer. And before I start to get too warm. So I'm taking a flat brush, any dense, firm brush, and I'm going to just press it on. Because I don't want, then it'll stop it from any oils. And I started doing it right away just before it starts to break down from any oils. Especially with these light, bright studio lights. I'm just kidding. I have 2 ring lights and 2 LED lights. There we go. And then I'm just going to take off any excess. And then I'll come back and use this more for the rest of my face. But I wanted to set that right away. So now we are, I wanted to use a little bit of pressed powder today too. So I'm using Voile just for a little more coverage, dewiness. I guess I'll just use my kabuki brush. Just a little bit of, no, this is the wrong one. That's my bronzer. Yeah, it is one of those days, isn't it? So now I have to clean my brush. It is one of those days. I grabbed the setting spray. Okay, what did I eat? What did I do? I want to grab Poplin as my foundation color. And just a little bit more coverage and smoothing. So that I look as flawless as I can. Okay, I think I got enough off. Here we go. There we go. Poplin is what I want. And I'm going to grab a little bit of that. I'm just going to blend that in. There we go. And you can take blending bud, and also by compressing it, it sort of gives you this more airbrush look. Just want to make sure that, there we go. Okay, now we can go on to contour. So now I want my voile. And I'm going to grab the tapered blusher brush, which they are such a beautiful brush. They're angled just right, and they, and so with your, I'm using again pressed powders as a bronzer, which I find is a very natural looking. And so you just need like one dab, and I like to swirl it in the cap just to take off some of the product. You can tap it, and then starting with the ear, aiming towards my mouth, and then with the brush horizontally, just make some gentle line, a gentle line till you see it coming and forming, and then I'm going to swirl it in. Just to have a little bit of gentle. We're adding some contouring to our face. It's going to add some instant health is what it does. We've taken away all the color, so that doesn't look natural. And so this will give us some color in our cheeks. Also where the sun hits on the tops of our forehead, you can just follow your hairline. And it's also going to get blended when we use our setting powder. I like to take a little bit, put it along the edge of your jaw, just under, and then I sweep it down. This is going to make any jowls, the skin sort of recede. It's going to give us a more structured jawline. Then I like to take a little bit, pinch my brush and do it on the inside of my nose, which is going to make that recede and make my nose look slender. You can do a little at the bottom and under the lip to make that a bit of a pouty lip. Now we're going, I just grabbed the blush Sisterly. It's just a really pretty soft pink. And where is it? Sisterly, there we go. Any blush will do. What I love about the Unique blushes is that they look very pigmented, but they've got a sheen to them, and they always go on so gentle. Again, I just tap, and then going on your cheekbone, start below your pupil to your cheekbone, and then just tap, hugging your cheekbone and on the edge of your bronzing, and then swirl it in. And the same thing on the other side. There we go. Now we need to add some brows. You can use, I could use these pencils. I could use the brow palette. I think I'll do the brow palette today, which is not in stock right now, but it's coming. It's coming. So I'm using, they give you two shades, the light and the dark. Well, no, I'll use the pencils because that's what you have. If that's what you can get, that's what I'll grab. Okay, I'll grab them. I've got 1, 2, there we go. All right, so I've grabbed light and medium. So I'm going to start with the medium, and they retract, and just going to draw a line to clean up the bottom edge of my brow. And so you want to start, you basically, if you are losing a lot of your brow line, you basically want to angle from the corner of your nose to the corner of your eye up, and that'll give you where your brow should start, and you can draw a gentle line there, and then you're going to draw your line under to your arch, which is following your nose to your pupil when you're looking straight. And that's where it'll take you to where your arch is. And then down. And it ends following your nose to the outer corner of your eye. Same thing. And at the top, I don't like to go all the way to the edge. I start back because I like the front to be softer. And then I'm going to just do little hair strokes to fill in. And I love the little, it does give this little, there we go. Now I'm going to grab the light and do the front strokes. It's like one little spot. There we go. And it has a spoolie on the other end, and I'm just going to blend it up and across. Now I'll do the same with the other brow. I wish I had a more flat brow, but I guess we have what we have, right? Mine has quite an arch. These pencils are like water resistant. They do really, they wear all day. Okay, switch to the light. And take the spoolie. Now, I'm going to finish my eyes. We're going to grab back our palette, and I'm going to grab the liner shader brush, which has a nice tapered end. There we go. And I'm going to clean it because last time, who knows if I used black on this last? Oh yes, I did use a dark color. So at least I'll start off with clean. I love this brush cleaner. And so I'm going to grab our transition color, the enthralled, and with the angled part, and I'm going to follow along my eye line all the way across. I'll do the other side. Right tight to the lashes. Then I'm going to grab some of that blazing, just a couple dabs, and I'm going to put that just at the outer, and then a little line to join, and it's going to give us a little bit of a smoky eye. I can even grab a little bit of that darker brown to sort of see if I don't want it to look too red. There we go. And then with the brush side, make sure it's clean, I can just soften that edge. And I'm even going to add a little bit more glam. I'm going to grab, if I can find it, is a little bit I'm never this disorganized. There we go. Nope, that's the wrong one. Let's see if I brought it proper. It's brown. Well, I can use that. I know I grabbed it. I know it's here. What I'm looking for is I'm going to grab, there it is, a black liner, pencil liner, and I'm going to put a little bit in my waterline just really close to the lashes also. We're adding some drama to our eyes. If you can skip this part if you feel if your eyes are too small, but it just really adds some, makes as if your lashes are thicker. So now we are going to do our setting powder. So now we're going to set everything. And the setting powder is amazing because not only does it set, like it's not going to come off. It also sort of mattifies your makeup, takes away the shine, and it has diffusers in it, so it also helps blend. So I'm using the powder concealer brush, and I'm going to just stipple it on, and it blends so that we don't have any harsh lines. And this is going to help when you're perspiring your natural body oils. As they come to the surface, what they do is they separate your makeup, and that's causing your lines to appear. And so this is going to trap them and stop that from happening. I'm going to also go back down our neck. You can even go on your eyes. And so then I'm just going to make sure it's all well blended. Just making sure. There we go. Now, highlight. Love to do some highlighting. So today I grabbed my cream a la mode cream to powder, so it goes on cream but dries to a powder, and this is the color Benevolent, so it's more of a creamy white. And I'm going to use my finger and just going to put some right along the top of my cheekbone, and you can even just follow it up. Same thing on the other side. I normally use it. I love the powders, but I thought I'm going to use my cream today. And then down my nose. Oops. Well, look at that. Where did that come from? I gouged it with my nail. Let me grab a Kleenex. I have a really shiny spot where let's take some of that off. That's the trouble with nails. Okay. And actually, I do want to put a little bit go back into my Dictions palette. We're going to grab Calm, the light matte color, to highlight our brow bone. And so I'm just going to grab a brush and just put a little bit under my eye, under my brow, on the brow bone. There we go. Now, lashes. So today I'm going to just going to grab a brush just to make sure I have no eyeliners gluing my lashes together. Make sure they're separated. Now I'm going to use the lash primer, which we want glammy lashes. So this is going to not only nourish my lashes, but it's going to plump them. So it's going to help give me some volume and length. And also, if you curl your lashes, use your lash curler first. Then when you put your lash primer on, it's going to set that curl. So I like to do one eye at a time because I like to use my mascara while the primer is still wet. And you just apply it like mascara. Now I actually am going to use both today, the Twisted and the 4D. So I'm going to start off with the Twisted to put a coat on, because this is going to really help separate and put a coat of mascara. Don't want to get mascara in my hair. On each lash. This gives us a more, the Twisted mascara, I find, is a bit more of a wispy lash. A longer, natural looking lash. But for a special event, it's nice also to use a fiber mascara to get a thicker, more false eyelash look. So that's why I am going to use the second coat with the 4D. And just see if I can beef those up. And by the way, these all come in the beauty box. You get each eyelash, the primer, a blush. You get 15 full-size items. The value is $532 for $119. So it's really a good deal. And you don't have to do the business just because you want to get the products at a good price. I am totally on board with that. So if you would like that, I've included the link in the comments as well. And also for today's look, if you choose that there's one thing you want and you don't want all the other things, like I did the full look, but you could just remove them from the cart. Just remove them and just pick what you want. Just because they're there doesn't mean you have to buy them all. There we go. Stunning lashes. Now I'll do the other side. With the primer, which lots of times by the time I get to the second I'll forget. If you think you're going to an event where you're going to do a lot of crying, you could use the waterproof. Though this is water resistant, the Twisted. So the 4D is not. So if you think you're going to be emotional, just use the Twisted. Or use the waterproof, which they all come in the beauty box. I never plan on crying, it just happens. Let's hope I don't. So, yeah, see with just, I don't know, you probably can't see, but with just the one, it's thinner, and this is the thicker lash. When I added, I love using both for an event. Now I'm going in with my 4D on top for the second coat. Which has Y-shaped fibers, so they really grab on. And it's buildable, like I could go back and do a second coat and a third coat if and then to do the bottom lashes is I use the Twisted because it has two wands. It's got the skinny wand, which is awesome for getting your lower lashes. it's like such a brilliant idea. It's like, why didn't I think of this? Why didn't anybody else think of this before now? This thin wand. There we go. Now, oh, normally I want to put my setting spray on before I do my lashes because I hate for them to get all wet. So at this point, you could do a nude lip and leave it about the eyes, or you could go bold. I'm going to go bold because I think a nude lip would look beautiful. It would make your eyes stand out more, but it also is a special occasion. And so I am going to use a lip stain. And before I do that, I'm going to use a lip exfoliator. And these are on we have just this week only, for just a few more days left. You can get a lip exfoliator when you buy 2 of our brand new, just launched lip butters. And they're like a cross between a chapstick, like a lip balm, and a lipstick. And they're beautiful. There's 6 colors. And for $59. And you get your choice of an exfoliator in original or peppermint. What have I got? I think it's peppermint. Tastes good anyway. There we go. So I'm going for a bold lip. So I'm going to line it just to make sure. So I'm using Posh, which is this raspberry pink. There's just something about a color. I think it just dresses things up a bit. And this is the lip stain. Sucker Punch is the color. It also is like a raspberry pink. And it's a stain, so it stays on all day. You can eat and enjoy, and your lips aren't going anywhere. And also with the lip liner is the same. Just wanted to make sure I have a nice straight line. I didn't go back in and dip it yet. It's still all on the one. Applicator. There we go. It's not quite dry yet. Now, I'm going to lighten the center, which is going to make it look more like a pop, like it'll make your lips pop, I was going to use my concealer, but I'm going to try my highlighter. And let's see how that is. And I might need to use my brush, lip brush, to get my top lip, because I have skinny lips. See how it just made it pop? The center, you can put a little bit of your concealer and blend that in, the same effect. This has got some sheen to it. And there we go. Oh, setting spray. So now we want to set this. And get that to dry. Aw, thank you, Shelley. Oh, thank you. Now, so I have to figure out how I'm going to wear my hair. And so just one more touch. Some splashy earrings. Now, does that scream party? Does that scream? So in a Zoom, in a teleconference, you're saying congratulations. So I'm hoping you enjoyed this. Today, I should just show you what I'm wearing with Pretty Cute Things. This specific one is only available, I think this one's available in the 50% off, but it is only a large size. But there is another one that's just as cute with an animal print across the band. And all I did, I love the detailing on it, is she's got like the different animal prints, and it's got this cute tie. But today I paired it with the high-waisted, what do you call these? Leggings. Just for comfort, because I'm not partying yet today. So I hope that this helps you. I hope you love the look. And you might give it a try. And thank you so much for joining me. And if you please share, follow, I appreciate your what's the word? Support very, very much. So you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.